Welcome back to another episode of Film Buff Bros, and in this episode, we're going to talk about our favorite Shakespeare movie.
Big Willie.
Mine is Othello from 1951 or 52. I wrote 50s here. My favorite aspect of it is the grandiose set. They're actually at like castles. I don't know if they're in Cyprus, but it's a coastal area with like castles, and that combined with the shots, lots of long shots that give this picturesque depth, and it's somewhat expressionistic, like the Fritz Lang movies. Lots of they use like Dutch tilt and like angles, and the shadows and the medieval architecture kind of seems somewhat expressionistic, and just like it's crazy, like so much thought went into these shots, so many long shots, which I like. However, the editing is pace similar to a modern movie. It's cut, so many cuts. It's crazy. It's almost like he was inventing that style. Lots of clever and variant camera work, Dutch tilt, I said. And one of the examples of the artistic camera work is often there's this cross-hatching of objects or shadows during moments where characters are about to die or dying, or when diabolic plans are being conceived. And there's really great performance, especially by the actor who plays Iago, not sure his name, and Orson Welles, who actually sounds quite a bit like Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. I think that's where Kelsey Grammer got that voice from, actually. It might have been from somewhere else. I know that he did Shakespearean acting, but I like the one that Kenneth Branagh did as well, with I think Lawrence Fishburne, and Kenneth Branagh plays Iago. That one's really good, but it's really the cinematography and the set that sold me on this one.
And the story, I guess, too, is it's like a lot of Shakespeare. It's betrayal or something. It's basically Iago. I guess he's angry that Othello has been promoted in the ranks, especially since he's a black person. Iago is just like an evil sociopath who convinces Othello that his wife has cheated on him with another one of his military comrades. And he's just trying to create Othello's demise so that I suppose he can rise up in the ranks, and maybe just for his own sadistic pleasure. Yeah. A lot of parallels to Shakespeare's stories I've noticed as I'm getting back into Shakespeare, that, it's either a comedy with a big, huge cast, or it's like a little bit smaller and it's more a betrayal. It's a tragedy. But yeah, Shakespeare, interesting. I was almost going to pick this movie called Romeo and Juliet that came out in the 90s. Do you remember that? With
Leonardo DiCaprio? Oh, yeah.
And it's like all updated, like Jamie Kennedy's in it, John Leguizamo. I saw a couple clips.
With the bullets exposed.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting take on it. But I went a little old school too with, and it was funny because there's supposed to be this huge rivalry between Olivier and Orson Welles. They were both making Shakespeare movies at the time. I went with Richard III from 1955, where, he breaks the fourth wall. His wit, his wordplay, the cleverness, you can tell he really knows the character. He's just a great villain. Richard III, he kills his whole family. He's deformed. He not only doesn't like peace, like he gets off on war and violence and pain. And amazing score, amazing editing. It does have like a Scarface, Tony Montana sort of thing, and I think that's why he did Looking for Richard. Al Pacino made that documentary about Richard III, because it has a lot of parallels with that character that is he's just causing his own downfall slowly. But you still like kind of root for him because, he's like that middle ground. Camera work was pretty good. There's some really good shots, long shots. In fact, that first soliloquy or monologue, the side, it's just all one take, following him around. The colors pop at that time, like the mid 50s had like this amazing color to them. And it was just, I thought the ending was great too. The final words, I don't want to spoil it, but it opens with a great first few words of the play, and it ends with a great ending as well. And But it's long. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. I don't know how long the
Hour and a half is hour and 36 minutes. I think Othello is. Yeah.
oh wow, because usually Orson Welles has these big, huge things. He said his hardest thing was cutting a film, and he wanted to keep the whole film. Runner up, I'll just say last thing is Julius Caesar with Brando. Even though Brando's not in a lot of the movie, he's great in that movie as well. So I'd probably recommend that one too. But I want to see the Othello by Welles as well as the one by Olivier, because he did it, I think, years after Welles or maybe before.
That one was really good too. I think it was after. But yeah, I remember enjoying that one. I wrote essays on both of them, or did a presentation many years ago. And for me, like, it goes the Orson Welles, the Kenneth Branagh, and then the Olivier. But they're all good. Yeah. Anyway, that's our episode of Film Buff Bros this week. Tune in next week for another episode and click down below to subscribe and leave a comment and let us know what genre or what movies you want us to review.
That is the question.